You know the drill, season roundup time. That time of the year that I just so happen to do 4 times a year, where I take a look at all the anime that I watched or at least watched enough of to have an opinion on them. Then I quickly give my thoughts on said anime. Now if something wasn't on this list that you watch, it's because I didn't want to watch it. I know all of the anime that aired this season and what people enjoyed. So please, don't try to get me to watch sex robots, I'm not into that. So let's begin. Now let's start things right with My Hero Academia returning with its 3rd season. Now as someone who has not read the manga for this series, I have to say it's nice having a shonen return every year and seeing it as one of the highest quality series of the season that it's in. Most of the time you just assume power of friendship, one-dimensional villains, but this is the opposite to that in every way, shape, or form. Each season has improved on the last currently, and the big moment of the first core of the 3rd season is the best moment of the entire anime currently. It's hard to one-up yourself each season, but so far this anime has done just that. And most seem to tell me it's the perfect adaptation, improving on the already highly praised manga. So if you like superheroes or just solid character writing with strong supporting characters, start watching. Season 1 is fun, but Season 2 onward is where it gets great. One of my favorite aspects of the series is how there are actual penalties for abusing your powers, especially if you repeatedly damage your body. Why can't more series be like this? Remove A1 Pictures and Reki Kawahara, and replace it with a guy who wrote Kino's Journey and a studio with a stronger track record, what would you get? Well, you don't get the next Kino's Journey, but you do get a solid video game anime that knows what it is and it doesn't try to be anything else. The biggest aspect that caught my eye immediately is how well this version of Gun Gale Online is detailed. You watch the other SAO anime, there isn't much detail to the world. Here, however, it feels like someone who actually played video games wrote a world and detailed every nook and cranny of the mechanic details. The character writing is pretty whatever, but it favors being a fun battle royale like anime while giving all the focused characters a fun personality, but not evolving them past that initial image. Now I've seen some people say that characters naturally getting better at Gun Gale Online counts as character development, but if playing a game long enough and naturally getting better is what passes as character development for people these days, I fear for the future of the anime fandom. But when an anime knows what it wants to be, it doesn't try to lure the viewer in, trying to make you think it's deeper than it is, it really isn't an issue. Hell, even at times it feels like a parody of the original SAO, and when it's not, it's just a hilariously entertaining watch. Really, this is what SAO should have been from the get-go. It's fun, it's funny, it knows what it can be, and knows how to make this a fun world to watch. This is my comedy of the season. Red Panda who gets her anger out by screaming death metal karaoke is just fun. It's an anime that turns the world most of us will see in our day-to-day life into fun Sanrio characters. It makes the lead character the office pushover who just has a life that sucks. But the comedy works exceptionally well because of the death metal gimmick, never overstaying its welcome and always changing with each episode. Not to mention all the characters are visually memorable, as are their personalities. So don't sleep on this gem that Netflix released. It's hilarious and it's a very memorable watch. What the fuck? Why do you people tell me to review shit like this? Now you see, this is the Magical Girl show you should have been watching this season. When you really look at Magical Girl series, they don't make a whole lot of sense. I like them, but they don't make a whole lot of sense most of the time. That's what this series is about. Transforming into buff men in dresses being magical girls? Check. Making fun of the genre in a hilarious way? Check. This is a really funny show that may get overshadowed by some of the other comedy series of the season, but if you have time, give this one a go. It's not a masterpiece, it's not anything that deep, but it's a fun watch and it knows what it wants to be, and that's okay. What would happen if you took an interesting historical premise, mixed it in with a cooking show and a little bit of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? What would you get? Well, you get Golden Kamuy. Good historical anime aren't that common, so to have this one actually be a fun show from the beginning all the way to the end, while teaching you a bit about the Ainu culture, it has my respect. This won't be for everyone because of the more absurd aspects to the show and the random cooking lessons that it will throw at you, but the main plot of the show about finding this lost gold and you only know where it is by getting all the tattoos from escaped prisoner, it's pretty interesting, it's funny, it's charming, and it's just a whole lot of fun with a great cast of characters through and through. Short and sweet and to the point. You like over the top and as dumb as comedy comes, this is your jam. This isn't anything amazing, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't laugh at most of these episodes. This almost feels like a parody to the general mecha shows that you'll see in anime, and the lead character is just a riot to watch. Try one episode and you'll know if it's for you or not. It's no masterpiece, but it's really funny and I enjoyed my time with this. Steins Gate was great. We got a nice ending where things worked out, but we also know there was an Okabe who didn't get that happy ending and never saved the girl of his dreams. That's Steins Gate 0. You need to have seen the first series to watch and appreciate this, but this has most of the charm of the first series while also adding in some new and quite interesting elements to the mix. I really think this will end up being either just as good or even better than the first anime if it keeps up the current pace it's at. There are enough twists and turns and mind-shattering pain to make any Steins Gate fan feel quite at home, while also sprinkling in enough simple moments to reel you back in so you don't lose your mind from all the pain. Can't wait to see how this will wrap up in the second core. It's simply brilliant, and you can never go wrong with more Steins Gate, especially when the character writing remains on point like it originally was. If you like interesting art styles mixed with mecha dragons and solid comedy, this will be your jam. Rom-coms are actually my favorite genre in anime, and this hits all the notes that it should. It does everything you would expect a rom-com would do, from the initial personality designs to the setting, and an anime that doesn't really lose a beat. It doesn't necessarily go above expectations, but it does what it needs to, and if you enjoy otaku craze rom-coms, this will be right up your alley. This was one of those shows that I waited for most of the episodes to be out before I started watching, so I could binge it in one sitting, and this was the perfect way to watch this anime in my honest opinion. These types of comedy series are hard to make memorable. Having the mystical character interacting with a non-mystical character and the shenanigans they experience together, it gets a little repetitive, at least in anime, as it's been done so much. Here, however, they make almost everything unique, having a weird alien girl appear in front of a member of the Yakuza, having her live with him forcefully as if he refuses she will break his shit. It quickly becomes a fun anime. But all the characters that they'll end up introducing, from other alien-like characters to a classmate of Hina who ends up being forced to work at a bar as she's being blackmailed by the owner, this anime quickly becomes so over the top the comedy feels new and unique. Not to mention, it actually has really heartwarming character writing present around the funny moments. This is one of the stronger series of the year so far because it ran with the gimmick it presented early on and kept expanding upon it while also making solid character arcs. If we get more seasons, I'd watch more, but really I'm satisfied with these 12 episodes by themselves. More Recross is never a bad thing. Simple as that. This is my personal anime of the season. I'm not a big sports guy. I mean, boxing is one of the few sports I will watch in real life. However, I won't go out of my way to watch a boxing anime. Tomorrow's Joe made an anniversary project in the form of Megalobox, a show that reimagines the original series in a more futuristic setting, adding in mechanical limbs to the boxing arena, making the visuals resemble a classic 90s anime with a soundtrack that just screams Samurai Champloo. Right from episode 1 I was sold, but with each passing episode a lot of the tropes I was expecting weren't present. Instead, they were replaced with actual solid character writing because of the main and supporting characters. People you expected to dislike, you ended up enjoying because they made them out to actually have motives that mattered more times than not. The action was well choreographed, and visually it's the most stunning show of the season for me. Some people complain about the downscaling in the anime, but I loved it personally because it added to the visual flair and made it pop out this season. The animation remained fluid while looking like a remaster of a late 90s anime. Now personally, I'd be okay if every anime from this studio looked like Megalobox, but even if this was a one and done deal, that's enough. 13 episodes is all that's needed, and it's easy to say I have another anime to add to my favorites list. That's it for this episode of Season Roundup. Great season overall. A lot of solid comedy anime, which is a nice surprise as usually you'll get one if you're lucky, but here, all the ones that I completed were memorable and unique from one another. Having returning hits like My Hero Academia and Steins Gate is always welcome, but underdogs like Hinamatsuri and Aggressive Retsuko were also memorable surprises. Seasons like these stick out for me as I have a good range of well-written to just fun shows that I can look back on in the coming years and say this was one of the more memorable seasons. But let me know what you enjoyed or didn't enjoy from the spring season and your overall thoughts down in that comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you're new, also be sure to subscribe. As well, you can also head on over to my Patreon if you want to help support what I do, if you so wish. So until next time everyone, please take care and you all have a good one.